Hello everybody, my name is Memo. This is my channel, FancyMemo. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am starting a brand new series called the Monthly Rundown, where I will be doing a rundown on all the music that I have enjoyed. I will be talking about the albums, EPs, and singles that I have enjoyed very much within a month. This is technically for the month of April, but since this is the very first episode, I thought it'd be a good idea to just go over all the music I've enjoyed. Well, not all of the music, but the music that I really enjoyed within this year. So January, February, March, and now April. We're done with 4 months. That went by fast. And yeah, I'll just go over the albums, the EPs, and the singles I have enjoyed so far this year. And from here on out, it'll just be a monthly thing, unless I missed something from the previous month, but it should be fun. I think it'd be a good idea to just go over some amazing music. Hopefully I put you guys on to some stuff. Hopefully you guys leave some comments down below on anything I missed, anything that I should have checked out. And I also want to do something as well for every month. If you guys make music, I'll talk about it soon, but just a few reminders before we get going. If you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And if you're already subscribed and you want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I have a basketball podcast. It's called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. We have been covering the NBA playoffs. It's been fun. It's been exciting. If you want like a weekly recap on what's been going on in the NBA, check out our podcast. We upload every Monday. This is not starting today, but I would like to do something called the $5 reviews, where I review any project of yours. If you make music, whether it's an album, a single, an EP, I'll do it just for $5. So hopefully that's not asking for too much, but essentially you go to my PayPal, you can send me $5. I believe you could send a message of the project you want me to check out. I don't know if you could send links. If you can't and you want to send a link, again, you could check out my socials. Everything will be down below, so there will be multiple ways to contact me, and again, the PayPal will be down there. So if you want me to review a project of yours for only $5, if you want honest feedback on your project, I can do that at the end of the month within these monthly rundown videos. So again, it's only if you're interested. I just trying to make some money here because there's a master's program I'm trying to get into, so I need to start saving up. So again, if you make music and you want me to talk about it at the end of the month and give it a quick fair review, go to my PayPal and send $5. All right, let's talk about some of the albums released this year that I have been really enjoying, starting with Balloonerism by Mac Miller. This is a posthumous release from the legendary rapper, and this posthumous release was actually supposed to drop 10 years ago, around the Faces era, I believe. And it's very crazy that in that era, Mac really was going through the things that ultimately took his life. Talked a lot about depression and substance abuse on this album. So it's definitely very eye-opening that this is something that he has been talking about. He's been writing about within his music for years before his death. So that's depressing. So sorry for starting off with such a downer, but this is a beautiful album. Very atmospheric, dreamy production here. Mac Miller is doing great on the rapping side. Very psychedelic, very odd lyricism, but overall it's a very well done project, and I'm glad that his camp released this. Next project, we got Bad Bunny in here. I'm not necessarily a Bad Bunny guy, even though I do like a few of his tracks. Debí Tirar Más Fotos is a great album, an album where Bad Bunny is jumping into different genres, whether it's reggaeton or sticking with Latin pop. There are some club bangers in here, some fun tracks, but also some very vulnerable tracks. There are tracks here where he is going over what's going on in Puerto Rico and the gentrification going on there. Sonically and lyrically, this is definitely a love letter to Puerto Rico, where Bad Bunny is from. So if you're from Puerto Rico, I'm sure you're gonna love this album. And if you're not from Puerto Rico and you want a taste of what's so great about Puerto Rico and their music, give this album a listen. It's definitely, obviously, more on the modern side because it's a Bad Bunny album, but I feel like it makes for a great introduction to Puerto Rican music. So give this a listen. Great project. Love it a lot. Now we got You Sexual, a damn banger of an album. Each track here is so fun to listen to. Banger after banger here. FKA Twigs is jumping into dance field. the club feel, doing it with justice. It's just a very fun album with very weird beats, some of them going in more of the industrial direction. There's definitely a lot of experimental dance elements on this album, and of course some phenomenal singing from FK Twigs, and the lyrics here could be very sexual, so if this sounds like a good time to you, definitely check it out, because this is definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. It might be my favorite FK Twigs album. I still can't decide, but this is definitely one of the most replayable albums of the year, that's for sure. Next, we got Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. What an album to end off. Not only a great trilogy by The Weeknd, but possibly his music career, at least as The Weeknd. This was supposed to be his retirement album as The Weeknd. And yeah, this is great. A pretty long album, but a big reason why is because a lot of these songs here are very ambitious. They are pretty long. Most of them are 5 minutes. Within those 5 minutes, you get a bunch of twists and turns. Just a bunch of elaborate tracks here. And although I wouldn't say this is my favorite project from The Weeknd, it is a project that I do respect a lot, because the way that a mainstream artist like this, one of the biggest superstars in the world, was able to drop an album this big and grand and ambitious is very impressive. So shout out to The Weeknd here. Next, we got Gaius Gravera with Goyard, Ivy, and Said. Gaius Gravera is a underground experimental hip-hop artist that I've been enjoying as of late, and although I wouldn't say this is his best project, this is still a pretty good album with some cool features from Elucid and McKinley Dixon. There's several bangers here. One of them, The Old Guard Is Dead, was actually used, a snippet of the intro of that song was used to introduce the halftime show, the Super Bowl halftime show, the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show this year. So that's huge for Gaius Gravera. Happy to see him shining in that way. And yeah, this is a great experimental hip-hop album that I do recommend. I guess not so experimental, but it's definitely more on the alternative side though. So if you're interested in that, give it a listen. Speaking of experimental though, the experimental hip-hop group Clipping just dropped their new album this year. This is called Dead Channel Sky, and they are once again using noise production and mixing it with, I guess, hip-hop music. But this album more specifically though kind of leans more towards the dance direction. There's definitely several hip-hop dance tracks on here that will blow your mind. This is definitely one of the most creative rap groups out now, so it's definitely not a shocker that they made such an insane album here. So yeah, I've been loving this one. This was definitely a wild ride here. Next, we've got this very surprising album. This is Life is Beautiful by Larry June, 2 Chainz, and The Alchemist. What a trio of artists. I've never expected the three of them to collaborate in this way within a single album, but I'm glad they did, because this is such a beautiful album. That is something you expect when Alchemist makes your beats for your entire album. You just expect some glamorous, classy, beautiful hip-hop beats, and it helps that both Larry June and 2 Chainz come through with some of the smoothest bars and rapping. They both sound phenomenal on this album. There's a lot of chemistry here. All three of these guys did their thing, and I ended up really enjoying this project. So shout out to these guys. We've got Spelling's next with Portrait of My Heart. I discovered Spelling when she dropped The Turning Wheel in 2021. That was a very elaborate and ambitious, pop record. It felt like a musical listening to that, and you kind of get the same vibe here within Portrait of My Heart, but this one definitely delves in more of a rock soundscape, and it's awesome. It's a very cool album with incredible vocals by Spelling. She is an amazing singer, someone that you all should be listening to right now, because she is phenomenal. So Portrait of My Heart is definitely something I recommend here, especially if you're in a lovey-dovey mood, then give this album a listen. Next, we got Backwash. With Only Dust Remains. This is a killer album. So good. Backwash is one of my favorite artists right now. She delves into to experimental industrial hip-hop. Her last two albums for sure had more of a horrorcore touch to it. Well, this one, you know, it's a lot less scary, it's a lot less creepy, but it's still very intense, still very angry at points, but it's also pretty ambitious as well with these beats here that apparently Backwash did, I think, all the production, or at least most of the production, which is very impressive because, yeah, the beats here are phenomenal. You get hit with these heavy drums and crazy synths on certain tracks. And yeah, Backwash is continuing to be one of my favorite rappers and lyricists. Her lyrics here are very depressing, whether it's about her depression or about what's going on in Gaza right now. There's a lot of themes here that will leave your jaw dropped, but there's also a sense of hope, at least towards the end of the album, that makes the whole listen all feel worth it. So definitely give this album a listen. This is one of my favorites of the year for sure. For sure. I'm gonna be dropping my mini review on this album really soon. A little late, but it's all recorded. I just need to finish the editing. So yeah, big fan of this one. Next one, we've got Black Country New Road with their newest album, Forever How Long. This is such a pretty album from one of my favorite bands of all time, and a big reason why it's such a pretty nice listen is because of the vocals here that are done by the ladies on this album. We got May, we got Tyler, we got Georgia coming through, and they all basically have their own songs within this track list that they took care of and did a great job at that. You know, there's some great lyricism here, especially on the storytelling front. Some of the storytelling on this album is some of the best within their entire discography. Whether you're talking about Two Horses or Nancy Tries to Take the Night, there's impeccable writing, impeccable singing, and of course, gorgeous instrumentals. That's to be expected from this band. And at that front, they continue to be amazing at that. So shout out to this band. I love their music, and I'm definitely planning on going to their concert that should be coming up this month, so that's exciting. All right, we got Ginkgo by Panchico. I think that's how you pronounce it. I really don't know much about this band, to be honest with you. I know almost zero things. I just know that this is a great album. I saw a lot of people talking about this album, and I thought the album cover was kind of funny, so I decided to give it a listen, and I'm glad I did because damn, this is a gorgeous listen. Very light on the ears, very nice on the ears, with very dreamy and cloudy production. It's definitely a great indie rock album, and for some reason it has a really cool Billy Woods feature that was very surprising, but it reeled me in, and I'm glad it did because yeah, this is great. I'm gonna need more listens on this, but from what I've heard so far, it's phenomenal. It's great, so I definitely recommend it. Next we got Salt with 10. What a surprising album. I did not expect this album at all, even though Salt drops like all the time. I just never pay attention, but I'm glad I paid attention this time because Salt came through with a great album that have some jazzy elements, some R&B in there. Of course, you know, with Cleo Sol being in the mix, I know she's the lead singer, I think. This band is definitely very confusing to me. I probably should have done even more research throughout the years, but I just know that Cleo Sol is in here. So is Inflow. Inflow is in charge of the production. They both did great. They both did their thing here. I don't know if there's anybody else that contributed, but yeah, shout out to Salt because this is a great pretty listen. And then the last album I want to shout out is Withered by David. This is definitely a very poppy album filled with a bunch of love-centric tracks. I honestly really like it. I haven't listened to this album a lot, but you know, when I have given it a listen, I really enjoyed it. It's a fun album. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's definitely a fun listen and something that I feel like you guys should all check out. You might not enjoy the entire album, but there will be a few tracks that I'm sure you guys will enjoy. So shout out to David. Shout out to Feel It from Invincible. That track is in the Invincible soundtrack, and I love it. I love it a lot. So just like the show, I love the show a lot. So yeah, shout out to David. Shout out to Withered. Shout out to Feel It. Let's go. But yeah, those are all the albums I'm going to talk about. Now let's talk about some EPs that I have really enjoyed. Starting with some Paris, Texas EPs. We got They Left Me With the Sword and They Left Me With a Gun. Both EPs are great. I recommend both of them. Paris, Texas just does their thing, jumps through and try out several different genres, whether it's hip hop, whether it's rock. It could be very experimental, in your face. Sometimes Sweet as well. And of course, with these two being EPs, they're both pretty short listens, but both pretty fulfilling. I like how there's some skits in here as well. But yeah, give them both a listen because they both have bangers within them, like Dogma 25 or Infinite. Stripper Song is great. Like, this is a great pack of EPs. Listen to both in a single sitting. You're going to enjoy it. So shout out to Paris, Texas. Next, we've got Papota by Gabriel and Paco Hermoso. These two are known for this viral NPR Tiny Desk concert where they sung a bunch of their songs with live jazzy instrumentation, and you actually get to listen to that whole set in this EP. But before you do, you get 4 new tracks with live instrumentations as well. So you get 4 new tracks of great new fun material from these two, and then you get the whole track list from the NPR Tiny Desk concert that they did. So yeah, really recommend this if you're into like Latin pop music with a jazzier feel towards the end. You'll enjoy it for sure. Next, we got Party of 2 with We Owe You an Explanation. This group used to be called Group Therapy, and I loved their album from a few years ago. I was mature for my age, but I was still a child. Unfortunately, one of their members decided to leave, so now it's just Jada Grace and Swim coming together as Party of 2, and they dropped a 3-pack right here, a 3-track EP that I really do enjoy, especially I believe it's called Poser. That is more of a club banger that is fire, fun to listen to, but I do recommend the rest of the EP, so check this one out. And then we've got MYSTICWOLF in the building. The EP is called The Abyss of Dissonance. MYSTICWOLF is actually one of my viewers. He is in the comments section to my videos. He follows me on other socials like Twitter, and I follow him back. You know, he has a nice Twitter. He has a good Twitter. He has a good TikTok as well. And he makes great music. Like, this guy is super talented. Not only did he drop a phenomenal 11-track EP that delves into several different subgenres of hip-hop, whether we're talking about some more of like club-centric tracks, some more experimental tracks, some more like Kanye-esque soulful tracks. Very talented guy on that front. This EP is filled with a lot of variety, but not only is he great at making music, but look at the cover art. He made this. I think he painted this cover art. It's so beautiful. This man is talented. I'm jealous with how talented this man is. So shout out to him. Not every track here is a banger. I'm not really a fan of Over $20 is Crazy. That was one of the more experimental tracks. I wasn't a big fan of the production here, but there are some great tracks, like the intro track, Living for 25 Years is Exhausting. That's a very vulnerable and well-written, passionate hip-hop track there. So yeah, there's some great tracks here. Serenade is a banger. We got Soliloquy of Bliss is really good as well. A lot of these tracks run on the shorter side, which I guess is kind of a bit of a downside for me, but at the end of the day, it is an EP. Point of the EP is just to showcase his talents, and in that aspect, I think he did a phenomenal job there. So shout out to MYSTICWOLF. I hope you're doing well. Keep up the great work because so far so good. Next, we've got singles. We're going to go over a few singles that I have really been enjoying this year. Starting with Protect the Cross by JPEG Mafia, one of the best tracks of the year. This is off of the deluxe version of I Laid Down My Life For You. It's off of the director's cut, and it's so good. It's such a great banger, dude. I recommend listening to the director's cut if you haven't, or I Lay Down My Life For You, because that is a phenomenal album that I would give a 10 out of 10 to. It was my album of the year last year, and JPEG Mafia just continues to impress with tracks like Protect the Cross, so shout out to him. Next, we got Nosebleeds by Doechii. A lot of conversation about Doechii. A lot of people are especially talking about Anxiety by Doechii, which is not a good song, I'll say, and unfortunately, because of that, Doechii is getting a lot of harsh criticism and harsh attention. And I wish a lot of people focus their attention on tracks like this, Nosebleeds, which is a track that she released after the Grammys, after she won a Grammy for Rap Album of the Year, which I'm glad she did win that. And yeah, it's a very high voltage track, a braggadocious track, just going in on how, I guess, great she is. So yeah, give this one a listen. If you're a Doechii hater, give this one a listen because you might become a fan after this. Next, we got McKinley Dixon with a couple of bangers. He dropped Sugar Water. He also dropped Could Have Been Different. Sugar Water has features from Quali Chris and Jamil, while Could Have Been Different has a blue and Shamir feature. And yeah, I think he absolutely killed it on these 2 tracks. Very jazzy and gorgeous high-end production on both of these tracks. Very impressive. Just continues to amaze me on that front. Just being able to find these incredible, beautiful beats to rap over. And the rapping itself, great. Always great from McKinley Dixon. So definitely check out those 2 tracks. Next, we got Nokia by Drake. And I guess Party Next Door, but I don't think he's actually on this track. Not an album I enjoyed from these 2. What is it called? SSS for You, something like that. Did not like the album at all. But they did have a couple of bangers. I try and be one of them, but I really want to highlight Nokia, which is a fun club dance banger. It's very tongue-in-cheek, lighthearted, and I think that's where Drake is at his best, when he's just having fun. And this track here is fun. It's the definition of fun. I wish he had more tracks like this. I wish his dance album from a few years ago was as good as Nokia. There's basically no track on his dance album that is as good as Nokia. That's crazy. If there was several tracks like Nokia on Honestly Never Mind, then I probably would have loved it a lot, but unfortunately that is a garbage project. So yeah, very disappointing to see Drake continue to disappoint every year with all these projects, but at least he has Nokia. Nokia is a banger. Shout out to Nokia. Next, we got a couple tracks from Little Simz. We got Free and we got Flood. Flood being a track that's more on the darker side. Kind of reminds me of, what is it called? Gray Area, her album from a few years ago. And yeah, Flood has features from Obangjair. I definitely mispronounced that. And Moonchild Sanally. While Free, on the other hand, has no features and is as menacing as Flood. It's not as dark. It's a very pretty beat. And on both of these tracks, Little Simz does her thing and raps her ass off, and she's sounding great. This is definitely a album I'm looking forward to. An album I'm expecting to be in the race for Album of the Year. She is extremely talented. I love her music, and I can't wait for her new album. So check out Free, check out Flood. Both of those tracks are fire. Even though they're pretty different from one another, they're still both great, so check it out, please. Next, we got a couple singles from Rich Brian. We got Little Ray of Light and Butterfly. Reacted to both of these tracks. I reacted to both of these music videos as well, and I think they're both great, even though they're both pretty different. Little Light of Mine is more of a melodic track. Rich Brian is singing here, and the singing definitely grew on me for sure. While on Butterfly, he is going in, rapping his ass off. Both of these tracks kind of delving into love within the lyrics in different ways. And both of these tracks is making me excited for his new upcoming album. I'm sure because of these 2 tracks being pretty different, the track list for the new upcoming album is going to be very diverse. It's going to have a lot of variety, which I'm excited about. So shout out to Rich Brian. Next, we got I can't say that. My N-Word by Fly Anakin, Quali Chris, Silk Money, and Big Kahuna OG. This is such a great posse cut. Definitely a hip-hop banger. I love Quali Chris on the hook. He does a phenomenal job there. This is just a very cool track that I really enjoyed and feel like deserves more attention. So give this one a listen. Speaking of giving more attention, we got Billy Woods coming through with a Misery. This has Kenny Siegel production, and if you know me, you know that I love it when Billy Woods and Kenny Siegel come together to make some music. And yeah, this one is great. It has a very weird beat, as you'd expect, has some weird lyricism, as you would expect, but it's a great track. I believe it's on the shorter side, yeah, with only 2 minutes and 12 seconds of runtime. I really enjoy it. It's Billy Woods' first single for his upcoming album that you should all be looking out for. Next, we got Freddie Gibbs with Nobody. God, I love this song. The sample they use for the instrumental is so good. So good. The female vocals there sound beautiful, and then Freddie gives another great performance, which is all he knows how to do, man. He knows how to rap. I love how personal the lyrics here on this track as well. Freddie Gibbs just continues to be one of the best rappers right now, so shout out to him. Next, we got Hotbox by Lil Nas X. If you miss Pharrell Williams type beats, check out Hotbox, because this sounds like a hip hop hit from the early 2000s. Lil Nas X just continues to find ways to make hits, and yeah, he's definitely one of my guilty pleasures for sure. I love his music, and this new track from him is a banger, so give it a listen. Next, we got Good Credit by Playboi Carti and Kendrick Lamar. I did not like I Am Music. I think that album is pretty mid. But this track isn't. This track is a banger. It's fun. Kendrick Lamar is sounding like he's having a lot of fun off of this track. He has several quotables on here that I really enjoyed. And Playboi Carti also does his thing here. He was definitely no slouch. He starts off the track very well. So definitely a fan of good credit. Next we've got PinkPantheress with Tonight. Oh my god, is she perfect. She's like the most perfect human to ever exist. Like, this is a fun track. The first single for her upcoming EP. I know she dropped another single, but I didn't give it a listen. I'm just gonna wait until the EP drop to listen to that track. But yeah, this is a fun, dancey banger. I love it a lot. I love her music. I love the music video. This is just a fun track here that I feel like everybody should check out. If for some reason you haven't already, you'll have a lot of fun listening to this for sure. Next, we got Baby Metal and Poppy coming together with From Me to You. This is a collaboration that should have been done years ago, but I'm glad they were able to finally get it done. It consists of what you expect from a Poppy and Baby Metal track. There's some cute little vocals, great choruses, and then some very aggressive production to coexist with all of that. It's such a wild ride, and I'm glad that they were finally able to make a song together. So shout out to them. Next, the Marias. Oh my god, with Back to Me. This is such a sad and beautiful song. Damn, I just want to give her a hug. I just want her to be happy. Dude, this is such a sad song. I love it though. I love it so much. The heartbreak, you can hear it in her voice, bro. This is good. This is some good ass music. This is great. Definitely one of my favorite tracks this year. I've given this track a lot of listens. I think it's up there. It's definitely up there. It's a beautiful ballad. Give it a listen. Next, we've got Turnstile with Never Enough. Turnstile did not lose a beat whatsoever. This is their first single in a while for hopefully a new upcoming album. And yeah, if you like their last album, give this one a listen because it feels like a continuation of what they've been doing. And what they've been doing was great. So this is also great. This is a phenomenal Turnstile track. So if you like loud rock music, give this one a try. And then lastly, I want to shout out a couple of Quadeca songs. We got Godstead and Monday, two tracks here that I really love and that have impressed me a lot. Quadeca, being the former YouTuber, having a couple rap albums under his belt, is jumping into a new avenue where it's more of a singer-songwriter vibe and alternative rock vibe, I guess. I don't know, but it's phenomenal. Godstead being my favorite with those like bossa nova or Latin elements within that track. But Monday is a great track that I just did a track react for. I love the poetic lyricism there. The singing on both of these tracks are surprisingly really good. So yeah, I'm a fan. I wasn't a fan of Quadeca, but now I am. I'm a huge fan now, and I can't wait for his new album. And that's it. That is my monthly rundown. Yes, this is a hefty episode for today, but I hope you were able to get some good recommendations. The next episode should be a lot shorter. From here on out, it should be a lot shorter. But yeah, I hope I was able to put you onto something. That would be great. And it would also be great if you guys put me onto something. So please let me know what you've been listening to. And I guess I'll end it here. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, makes sense, right? Comment down below what is your favorite song, EP, album from the month of April. Let me know down below. If you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. If you're already subscribed and you want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you like basketball, more specifically NBA basketball, I have a basketball podcast. It's called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. And if you're interested in a $5 review where I will give you honest feedback on your latest EP, single, album, here's the PayPal that you can check out. Send me $5, contact me, and I'll talk about your music in the next episode at the end of the month. But yeah, I'm done here, so thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Goodbye. Oh.